Hello everyone, myself is Sadakat and I have been associated with MyAussieTutor in academic writing for the past 1.5 years. I have a bachelor's in dentistry and a master's in public health, and our today's topic is responsive listening and how responsive listening helps develop inclusive education practices and helps in utilizing the homeroom effectively for children. So we are going to discuss this by using the case of a story, the migrant story that we will discuss here. So the migrant story that is being talked about here is about three brothers who left their own country of Lebanon and decided to come to move to Australia and stay there to have the option to live in preferred conditions as compared to their own native nation and grow more financial prospects for their own benefit. They did not escape, nor were they compelled to migrate. Rather, they decided to depart for enhanced prospects through their everyday existence. The most significant minutes in the story are incorporated in the occasions when Yusuf clarified how he was called a wide range of names and was approached to return to his nation by the individuals, and how there was no acknowledgement by the nearby Australians for either him nor his family. So, responsive listening, as I told you, that we are going to discuss and apply today in response to this migrant story that I just told you. The responsive listening that we're going to discuss is basically the ability to continuously give or elicit a response, the thinking by the use of actual eliciting of it and by comprehending it as well. So basically, it is your innate ability or your development of your ability to be able to give a response or to elicit or produce a response to that thinking by the use of actual eliciting of it. So basically, you are actually producing this thinking or responding to it by making complete sense of the situation and responding to it as well. So another significant second part of the story is the start of the story, including the part when they settled on the troublesome choice to depart from their own nation, local spot, country, and relocate here in Australia. The movement also included the advent to obscure grounds with no money-related social or passionate help, and with completely zero information about the spoken language, traditions, or the background of the country, philosophy of the foreign people and civilization. And they started humbly and submissively by beginning to work in a material plant. So all of this says a lot about the benefit others have who don't need to leave their own countries for winning cash and for financial success. They don't need to contract completely obscure domains and consider it a home so as to endure, similar to how Yusuf clarified he felt dismal and defenseless and cried in his pad after his first involvement with Australia. And also it encourages me as an individual, as an educator, to so this is basically what we are discussing is basically an assignment of a reflection for an educator on responsive learning in response to the case study that I have just described to you. So we are going to do it in first person. When you're going to attempt it, it's going to be in first person. So basically, it encourages me in seeing that we are so favored to have the option to get all that we need in our own nation as far as financial and self-awareness openings goes. This aspect of the story caused me to feel overpowered about dealing with my very own benefits throughout everyday life and strength. It changed my understanding and point of view of benefit, where it's anything but an extraordinary thing to have, and there exist a great deal of the things that we underestimate, which are in reality obvious strengths or benefits for us all. That is not having to leave their own country, not having any issue with assimilating with the community, not having any issue with going to the market to buy things for yourself, not having any issue or ability or an inability to be able to communicate with your neighbors, to be able to share things with your neighbors, to have an lively neighborhood, to be able to send your children to school. There is no issue of language, this thing, and where people do not treat you as foreign people. All of these things that we take for granted are the ones that were not taken for granted in the case, in the story that we have seen. Basically, a rousing and gutsy part in the story was the choice of the family to begin with the taxi business without any person or anything to count on. It caused me to feel more associated with their battle and their endurance too. Another noteworthy issue, or that the part of the story, was when they exclaimed that they had to hang Christian images in their taxi cabs, because then the individuals who were sitting in the cab, they could abuse them on the basis of their nationality, their religion, and the nation of the route that they came from. And it was done for them as a part of their security. They dreaded any attacks by the people or the individuals. And it also caused me to acknowledge how the bias, separation, and prejudice run somewhere down in the general public that we stay with, and that it is so hard to beat and move beyond it. That this bias, separation, prejudice generally exists in people for people who are coming from other places. It is naturally inherently present. That is what causes, and it exists, and it is very difficult to move beyond it. So encounters such as this, and referenced in the chosen story, stunned me and caused me to send in an alternative way around my knowledge about race, benefit, and capacity. Additionally, they also clarified that they had to go at keeping a picture of their Lebanese holy person in the taxi, whereupon they were addressed by a few travelers concerning why they kept a picture of the Iranian head Khomeini with them and what they had to do with them. Despite the fact that it was a picture of a Christian holy person, they were still interrogated because of long facial hair delineated in the picture. The whole depiction in the story was incredibly moving and overpowering for me, since it delivered the social supremacy and strict preference common in the general public still. And also, I realized that as a general public, was still biased towards race, identities, and religion. Siblings also chose in the last to accept Western symbolism of Christianity to be kept in the taxi cabs, so that Lebanese drivers, and also the news that Lebanese drivers were being killed off, and it was perilous to proceed with the taxi driving business consistently. That was what was causing the issue. So the method of learning that I developed in this case was the way of tuning in to stories utilized by me could incorporate being responsive while tuning in as well, effectively captivating with the stream and direction of what story is being told and watching eagerly the significant points in the story. And responsive tuning also could be utilized to build up a more profound understanding and a basic build-up of literature and decent variants too, and also help in building variety as well, and superior way to deal with inclusive instruction in the class and being able to give inclusive instruction to the children. It helps in building up a socially responsive educating base. Also aids in improving sufficient instructive base for setting up inclusive education practice in the homeroom or the classroom. And if the story is tuned into eagerly and with the expectation of understanding and supporting the social, racial, ethnic, and strict decent variety, it will also help in remembering and understanding for my inclusive practice as well. Responsive tuning into children and their issues will also help in bettering my commitment as an instructor with children and help in collective arranging and planning of explicit customized techniques for various children that are dependent on their specific needs. So, inclusive education, a significant piece of forming this listening practice into the idea of inclusive education or including this can incorporate growing socially responsive instructing techniques. Basically, it can help in developing responsive techniques that are inclusive and teaching techniques that are also inclusive. It will also help in building a place for students coming from different parts, regions, religions, castes, and cultures and races, and help in building a comprehensive base for all of them to work towards their qualities and ethos as an alternative network. And it will also help in effectively comprehending what is being told, being able to comprehend what is being told in the class, and creating reactions in the children as a part of their social sensitization in the classroom. This level of responsive listening and inclusive education will help do that. And also be able to develop in the children the comprehension of character of ethnically assorted students in the homeroom as well. This consolidative responsive attunement will also better my capacity as an educator to interface and build upon associations with the youngsters or children, and also have a place with differing foundations, and furthermore help in comprehension from where they're coming. It will help me understand better from where the children are coming, particular reactions the children are giving, why are they giving it, and where are they coming from when they are saying specific things. So this level of inclusive education by using responsive learning as my own method will help me understand their nationality, their race, their culture, etc. in the homeroom, and help in building a conducive environment in the homeroom where everybody coming from different places can come together and work towards the common goal of learning or listening to each other responsibly and being able to respond to that differently. And different children will react differently because they're coming from different places in the homeroom, and conducively they can help build the atmosphere and the environment of the homeroom. My methodology of setting up social passionate connections while rehearsing responsive listening will help in building up a more responsive and building and all the more socially sensitive environment or condition in the classroom. The story likewise instructed me to comprehend and help in drawing in with contrast and decent varieties. Basically, building up similar intelligent and responsive listening abilities in youngsters will likewise help in expanding the perceivability of kids and their act of commitment with contrast and their companions and individual colleagues. So basically, it will help develop cooperation. A real technique can be developed for the conveyance of guidance that will take into awareness the ethnical variety of the students in the study, and also utilize the multi-social methods of instruction as well. Also help in creating cooperative associations with the children alongside the advancement or improvement of teaching methods as well. So the homeroom that can be utilized for building this capacity of responsive listening will incorporate what the individual is stating, being available whenever the children is saying something, attempting to detect the genuine and comprehend what is being said without including any own conclusions, without forcefully throwing your opinion, your own conclusion, and your imagined idea in any specific situation, you will be able to listen responsibly and understand what the individual is trying to say. Just getting an idea of what the individual is trying to say instead of speculating or including your own conclusions or pre-imagined ideas or your conceived notions onto specific things. And you will be able to understand genuinely and comprehend what the child is saying and where the child is coming from when they are saying this. It will also help in recognizing what youngsters need to state, particularly originating from various foundations or kids coming with uncommon rights. The other part is also to reproduce what is being said and incorporate my own encounters about what is being examined. This improvement of connection and social comprehension will basically build up connection and shape connections, and also help build trust, and also help in rehearsing inclusive practice in a better way. Basically, listening will help in utilizing social platform in the homeroom as a piece of inclusive practice. Also utilizing our own society and the extension of the same in understanding scholarly literature and scholarly skyline and scholastic accomplishment of students. Also building up a socially sensitive and a socially aware society and community with these children. And they'll be able to work in their life and live by using their extraordinary rights and capacity. So, to conclude, we have seen that learning knows no bound. Whatever is being told in the class, whatever is being said, should be completely tuned into it, and it will help the children also do the same in the class. And it also helps in responsive attunement, and it will also aid in making personalities of children and having a place, independent personalities of the children, and having a place in the society and the community, irrespective of where they're coming from. And it will be a fundamental practice in comprehensive inclusive education. Hence, being able to responsibly listen or responsibly listen to children, hear and understand what they're trying to say, will help in basically eliciting better responses in the children and help in advancement of inclusive education in the class. So that's it for this discussion today. I hope you understood the entire topic of how responsive listening is a method of developing inclusive education in the classroom, and how a reflection is supposed to be written on the similar thing using first nouns, and how your own story, your own learning as an individual, as a student, can be incorporated as a part of the topic that has been given to you, and how a personal reflection is made and how it is taught. Thank you so much. I'll see you again with another topic.